In this video, we'll cover the basics of your lead capture website. Now, a small disclaimer before we begin. Your lead capture sites, in addition to your blog site and MREM software, is set up after you submit your book selections and approve your book proofs. Also, the password you'll use to sign in to the lead capture page is the default password we originally sent to you. If you've updated your password to the Book Setup Manager, this will not carry over to your lead capture page. Now, let's dig in and let's go. To begin, let's go over to the Book Setup Manager. The direct link is book-setup.smartagents.com. Once you've logged in, navigate over to More Tools and click Login under Lead Capture Website. This will redirect you to our Lead Capture site dashboard. Your page should look something similar to what you're seeing now. Now, before we dig in, let's go through each option quickly to give you a general understanding of what the backend is capable of and how you can take advantage of it. Starting off is our dashboard. So when logging into the lead capture site, you'll always be taken to the dashboard first. If you'd like to preview your author page on the fly, it can be done by navigating over to Preview Site and clicking your author domain link. In this case, it's Ben Curry's author page. Whilst there are other options available, they aren't relevant to your case, so we'll skip over it in this video. Number 2 is our global settings. Global settings is your backend to the author page, as seen here. Number 3 is our web forms. If you're on your author page and request a book, this will take you to a web form to fill out. If you ever need to edit a form, it can be done here. Number 4 is our websites tab. This will give you editable access to either your values or author page. Number 5 is our leads tab. If ever a lead requests a copy of a book or requests a free home evaluation, it will go here. And lastly, our statistics page. If you want to monitor how many people are being driven to your sites, you can click into the statistics page and keep track of it. Now, we aren't going to go into every single option. Rather, we'll cover the essentials needed to dive into the lead capture site and beginning editing to your desire. So, starting out is our global settings. As mentioned earlier, the global settings tab is your backend to the author page, as seen here. Editing your global settings allows you to easily update your contact information on site. You can change the description of books or bios. You can remove a book if you've ran out and don't have any left in stock, or change your brokerage information if you've recently transferred. To update the contact information as seen here, you'll want to scroll down to Contact Information and update any bracket that needs to be changed. An example is updating the phone number and market area. Let's say Ben has a new phone number and is in a new city. Well, you type out the new phone number, new city, and state, scroll down and hit Update. You'd refresh your author page and you'll immediately see the changes. Simple as that. If you need to update your bio, you would scroll down to where it says Book Leads, About Page, Author Bio, and update your bio as needed. Always remember that after you've made any update to your site, you'll want to save it by scrolling down to the bottom and hitting Update. Now, if you need to remove a book from your author page, that can also easily be done by scrolling to the book that you want to remove. In this case, Ben is giving away a ton of Wealthy Home Seller Secret books. Just an example. So if you want to remove that, you would just tick that little box there. Now, just a quick pointer. You're actually not going to delete the book. You're just making it invisible on the site. So don't hesitate to just untick it and retick it back on at a later date if you need to order more. Lastly, updating your lead notification settings. So when a lead fills out a form, how can we notify you of your new shiny lead? Now, we all love our jobs, but we need breaks eventually. So untick the days that you aren't working. An example is unticking Sunday. Next is selecting a time that you wish to be notified. If you don't want to be awoken to notifications at 3 a.m. in the morning, select the earliest that you want to be notified in addition to the latest. An example is 9 to 6 or 9 to 5. Now that you've set your notification time settings, how do you want to be notified? If you want to be notified via text, then you get into your phone number that you want to receive text notifications at, in addition to your email. Now, just a quick tip, you can place up to 2 phone numbers and 2 emails. Just be sure to separate them via a comma, otherwise our system will just see one giant number or one giant email. An important note is that this is kept private, so leads cannot see this. So if you want lead notifications to go directly to your personal line or even personal email, worry not, as they won't see where the lead notifications are being sent to. So if someone fills out a form, we can notify you via your personal phone number and your personal email. Now that we have a general understanding of global settings, let's jump on over to our web form tab. To see an example of a web form, you'd want to go over to your author page, and each of the Claim Your Book Now icons leads to a web form. Web forms are where leads can type in their information, and it will immediately be sent to you. Let's click into the Wealthy Home Seller Secrets book, also known as the Smart Seller book, where you can see an example of a web form. Perhaps you'll need to add additional information, such as the ability to, let's say, let leads type out a message to you. To do that, you would want to navigate over to Web Forms and find the form that we'd like to edit. For the Wealthy Home Seller Secrets, it would be the Biz Card Book or Business Card Book. So we'll want to scroll down to the web form and click Edit. When the form loads, you'll see a bunch of settings that are fairly straightforward. So you have your embed code, form name, form description, status, and most importantly, add fields. As you'll already see, there are already fields for the first name, last name, shipping, city, state, and zip, in addition to your email address. But we want to add even more. So to begin, click into the Insert Field tab underneath Default Fields. Now, as you can see, there are already a ton of default fields that you can implement on your form with the click of a button. For the sake of time, we aren't going to go through each one, as the steps to add it is the exact same. I would like to let leads enter a custom message for me. So sometimes maybe they don't want me to email them, but to message them via Facebook or other social platforms. The custom message field is at the very bottom. So you'd want to click the field that you want to add and click Add Selected. Once the field populates on the screen, you can scroll down and hit Update. To see it live, jump on over to your author page, find the form that you just edited, and in our case, it's the Business Card Book. And voila, it's there. Now, a quick tip is that you can add a custom field by going back to the Edit panel for Web Form, click Add Field, and creating a custom field. Firstly, you'll want to make sure to name the field. The field name isn't visible to public eyes, and this is for your viewing only. I would just copy and paste the field name and paste it into the field text for the sake of testing. So we're going to go with Test. And lastly, do you want to require leads to fill out any of the information that you're adding? If so, be sure to tick Required Field. Now, last up on the web form modifications. What else can you do with the web form? So let's go over the button customization in addition to redirecting traffic to third-party sites. When filling out the form, there is a shiny Send Me a Book icon. It's a huge button. Whilst I would suggest just keeping it the same, you are welcome to update it. So to update your icon, you would click Customize Button Icon. This will prompt an overlay with 4 options. Number 1 is the template selection. You have 4 logos to select from. Number 1 is of course the best. It's the biggest and most colorful and vibrant. Next up is our Create Custom button. You can update the text of a button, in addition to the text size, border, padding, and font type. You can also upload a custom button if the file set we have isn't to your taste. And lastly, you can use any of the buttons that we've created on other forms. Now, you have a ton of forms that people can visit and use. So if you want to pull a logo from there and maybe add it to this form, you certainly can. Now let's go over our Create Custom button. I want to show you a little more in depth on how to use that. So, as I said earlier, you can update the text if you need. You can also update the border, the padding, and the font type. Worry not if you make a mistake, just be sure not to hit save. If you mess up and don't know how to fix it, just refresh the screen without saving, and it will reset to its original value. Okay, so now that we know how to customize the button and make it beautiful and amazing, do we want to redirect traffic to a third-party site? So say someone visits your author page, do you want to also drive them off the author page after they request your services onto another site, such as a Facebook domain or a website? This is also really easy to do in just a couple of clicks. So to do this, you would want to scroll down to Redirect Options. By default, it's going to redirect leads to a thank you page as seen here. But we want to change that and maybe redirect traffic to an external URL. When someone fills out the form and enters their information, they'll click Submit, and you'll be notified of the lead and the lead's information. And while you're prepping their package, they can also see what else you have to offer. So let's enter our website URL. As a test, let's drive traffic back over to Smart Agent. So let's enter the URL. That would be http://smartagents.com/. You'll need to copy the exact page URL. To do this, you would want to navigate over to your website or Facebook or any domain. And once the page loads, you'll simply want to copy your URL and paste it into the URL redirectory. Or if you want to type it up manually, type http:// the name of your domain, followed by .com, .net, etc. Okay, so now we went over global settings, web forms. Let's dive into websites. As the tutorial goes, we're going to stick with editing our author page. So when clicking into the Websites tab, you'll see both your value site appear in addition to your author page. When you click into your website tab, the options are pretty barren. And this is because your lead capture pages are categorized into sub-content pages. To give you a side-by-side comparison, let's say we want to edit our Contact Me page. Well, to do that, you would just simply scroll down to Contact. As simple as that. If you need to edit a book, you would go down to the book name and click Edit. Now, I want to update my Contact Me information, so let's do that. Let's go down to Contact, and now that it's loaded, you'll have a few options to choose from. You'll see Page Title, Page URL Slug, High Title, and most importantly, Page Content. The page content is what a lead will see on your website. On the right, we have our contact page pulled up, and let's say we want to add an email beside our phone number. Maybe it's late at night and a lead doesn't want to give us a call, but maybe just wants to shoot us a quick email. So giving them another avenue to get a hold of you may be a good idea. So let's go to page content and look for contact data field -first_name. Now, I know that's a little intimidating, but worry not, as this won't require any coding of any sort. So let's add our email beneath our phone number. So let's type email:/test@test.com. Easy. Now, if we really wanted, we could hit save and be done. But it wouldn't look right on the page. And to be honest, it wouldn't align and it would just look tacky. So we want to make sure it aligns perfectly with our phone number. So let's scroll up. We want to highlight the phone text and see what font it is and format. As you'll see, it's a heading #2 format, and it's aligned in the center. So let's do the same thing. Let's highlight our email, scroll back up to the top, and we'll select a heading 2 format and align it at the center. Voila, that's it. Once you've finished editing the page to your content and everything is updated and good to go, remember to scroll down and hit Save Changes, otherwise nothing will save. Then we'll refresh our contact page and voila, you'll see the new email appear on the site. Again, if you make any mistakes, make sure that you do not hit save and just refresh the page. So you would scroll to the very top left and hit refresh. And that way, if you make a horrible mistake, you don't have to worry about it being broken. Okay, so now that we're masters of editing our websites, when we get a lead, what do we do? Now, before we do the deep dive into the Leads tab, I want to preface by saying in the Global Settings tab, as mentioned earlier, you are notified via email in addition to text notifications for any and all lead notifications that you receive. But oftentimes, if you get an email, it may be swamped the following day and you may never see it. So we help to facilitate all of your leads here so that you never have to worry about missing that text or that email. Also, a quick thing is that we don't farm any of this lead information. We simply help facilitate it for you so that you can go back to it at a later date. So to start off, you have, of course, the leads information. If you recall earlier, we went over the form and how to edit it. So here are the form details. You can see a lead's name, city, state, and zip, in addition to the email and any other information that you may need to request. Next up is the date added. So how often you're getting leads and if the person requesting the book is a night owl. So you can see if people are requesting books at 2 a.m. in the morning or 5 p.m. in the evening. Web form is where the lead came from. Now, this is important to keep track of. If a lead requests a tax book and you send them a divorce book, you'd be sending them mixed messages and they probably aren't going to work with you. So make sure you keep track of who is filling out what form. And lastly, you have your actions. So there are a couple of actions that you can choose from. Number 1 is editing the lead. If you need to edit a lead's information, that can be done here. An example is, let's say a lead enters their email in the city field by mistake. Number 2 is your delete tab. I don't know why you would want to delete your leads tab, but jokes aside, it's very important to test your author page. You can play with the forms and test it yourself. If you do a couple of test runs, your leads tab may be a little cluttered, so I can understand wanting to delete those. But just be careful that you are deleting real, actual leads. Number 3 is contact notes. This is important if you'd like to categorize who you've already gotten in contact with. So say that you've given them a call, email, etc. You can leave a note here saying, hey, I've already called this person follow up in a week. And lastly is our reminders tab, my favorite. So say you finally sat down, you finally have a few moments to go through your lead list and you get called away for something. Well, if you're like me, I have a calendar a mile long with reminders, even for the most mundane things. So make sure to remind yourself of that lead or leads. So click Reminder. This will prompt a window to appear asking you what type of reminder that you'd like to set. You can do recurring, one-time, or reminder sequence. I'm going to go with a recurring reminder. We're going to start it on Monday at 10 a.m. each day and set it for 3 days. So we'll be notified Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lastly, we have our statistics page. Here you can view how many visitors you're getting and more specifically what books people are clicking into. Whilst I wouldn't worry too much about your statistics, keep an eye out for what people are clicking into the most and make a personal note of it for next time. If people are clicking heavily into your Fizbo book, then you may want to order more Fizbo books in the future. I want to thank everyone for tuning into this video and going through our step-by-step tutorial on how to edit your lead capture page. If you succeed, we succeed. I hope you learned a thing or two in this training tutorial, and let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Now, we're here and we would love to help you. So you can visit book-setup.smartagents.com. Navigate over to Get Help. We have a huge FAQ that you can use, and if none of that's applicable for you and you want to speak to a real, breathing person, you can. Scroll down to our Contact Us page. You can give us an email at support@smartagents.com. You can give us a call or text at 386-752-6534, and we're here from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.